This is, I ground on that whole center tube there. I clean off all this undercoating. There we go. I'm using a wire wheel that I got from Harbor Freight. It attaches to the grinder. It works pretty well. Some of the undercoating gets a little sticky, so you gotta work with it a little. Got all the factory undercoating and dirt off on this side. I primer, that's where I replaced the pan, so there's primer there, but the whole center section is done. Now I gotta grind all the driver's side off. It's pretty messy. Here's my face. I do have safety glasses and a mask on, and I'm wearing earmuffs, so. But as you can see, it's pretty messy. So I'm gonna try to get it all done today so I don't have to look like this again. All right, I'm finally done grinding. The garage is literally a mess. There's undercoating everywhere. Try to crawl under here to get you guys a good view here. Got all the undercoating off. Bare metal, except the floor pan where I replaced. I primed that, but got most of the gunk off the tranny and the horns. Just sprayed some brake parts cleaner all over the engine there. Try to let it soak for a little bit. It's super greasy, but floor pan's ready. I'm gonna put Raptor liner on it, but first I'm gonna pressure wash back here. I'm gonna try to get up inside here a little bit better, clean that out. And then I gotta clean up the floor first. It's gross. Got all the undercoating cleaned up from underneath, for the most part. Have to clean all that before I Raptor liner it. Right now I'm gonna try to get in here with the pressure washer, get some of this gunk off. That's the plan. I pressure washed the rear. Now I'm just wiping off the floor pan with wax and grease remover to get it all clean and get it prepped and ready. I think I'm gonna actually end up sanding it also, but I just want to wipe it all down, make sure it looks pretty good. So I got the floor all wiped down, but I actually ran out of primer, so I'm not gonna prime it tonight like I was hoping, but that's all right. At least it's clean. So now so I got a couple hours tonight to work on the bug here. I'm going to start, I think, take the front beam out. I prepped the floor pan for Raptor liner. I got all the undercoating off. So I want to paint the Raptor liner on the floor underneath. Inside where I put the new floor pans, I'm just going to do a little bit on the bottom surface. And then I'm going to paint in here. I'll show you that. So I'm going to put the Raptor liner also here. And I think down, I'm going to do this too. So I'm replacing the beam. I got a 4-inch narrowed beam from Type E Motorsports. So I'm going to pull this beam out. And that way, that's all out of the way. And I'm going to actually paint all this. And then that way, when I put the new beam in, all that's painted and I don't have to mess with it again. So that's the plan for today. I'm going to start taking that out. I'll pull the tires off, wheels off, sorry, and then start pulling this beam out. So that's the goal here. I got the floor pan all prepped. I'm probably going to also wipe it down real quick and maybe squirt some primer on it. And then when I get ready to do the Raptor liner, I will scuff it and shoot it. So, and then same thing in here. I'm going to put the Raptor liner on there and there. So I had the seats in there because I thought I was going to take it for a test drive, but moving on. So the front brakes are getting replaced with disc brakes, and the wheel cylinders are bad on the drum brakes. So I was going to try to test drive it around, but I don't want to put money into the brakes that are on there because I have disc brakes to put on. So I'm going to just do the beam, lower it, and then I'll end up doing the rear suspension as well. So I got it all this kind of cleaned up too. So I'm going to paint it. Obviously not, I'm not going to undercoat that, but I'll paint it. I'll end up painting it black probably. So suspension. And then I still am going to do the boots, but I decided to wait on that because I'm going to paint all this, and then I'll take that boot off so I can not worry about having to mask anything. I'll just spray whatever I want on the boot, and then I'll end up replacing that boot. So I did get all the tranny fluid out. There's no fluid in it right now. So I definitely am kind of bouncing around, but once I got under there to change that boot out, I was like, I might as well paint it under here. So I just decided, well, it's up in the air, to get it prepped and ready for the undercoating. And I'm just going to do the floor pan. I'm not doing the wheel wells quite yet until I figure out what I'm doing on the outside of it. I'm going to eventually paint it, but I think I might cruise it around for a little bit with it being red, and then I'll end up painting it eventually, but that's the plan. So I already got my wheels here. I need to get tires, but today's project will be starting to take that beam out. It is already 5 o'clock at night, so we'll see how far I get tonight. But so I gotta disconnect this. I'm gonna pop off steering arms, and then I need to disconnect the brake line on each side there. And let's see here. There's two bolts here, 2 bolts there. And I believe I gotta take off these 2 as well. So I don't know. I haven't taken one out, so I'm gonna learn as I go here. You guys follow along. Right. I got a wobble on there. Oh, my wobble. My wobble came apart. Like I need to go get a new wobble. There we go. I got it back together. That sucks. Pretty sure it's a Husky from Home Depot, so I can get a new one for free. I had it taped up. Let's try this one here. There we go. Wobble is going to be from Home Depot. So, okay. That's out. Now I need to disconnect, I believe, the tie rod here. So I'm going to actually do that. Let's see. Down below, but first I'll do this. I'm going to take this off, steering dampener off, because I think I'm going to need that out of the way to drop the beam down. So let's see what size that is. Probably 17. Yep. All right. 17-inch socket. And let's see. Oh, not too bad at all. The heck? How much shit's breaking? Literally crazy. My little ratchet is popped off. So, well, you know, I've had this Husky. I've had these since 2003. So it's lasted me 21 years, 22 years. So 2 tools. You know, I probably use it as a hammer too often, but that's okay. I got another ratchet. So I'm going to make a pile here of stuff that I need to return to Home Depot. We'll try this one. It's snap-on. I'm sure it's just fine too, but okay. So that's a 17 millimeter. Okay, I'm gonna go grab some tape and actually make sure that bolt stays in there. Just in case I need to know where it went and what it was for and blah, blah, blah. So, okay, take that on there. So now that's out of the way. Let's see, looks like I'm going to have to actually disconnect the tie rod ends from here. Because I'm probably not going to be able to drop the beam down with them just disconnected over here. So let's see what size that is, and it looks like, I think there's a cotter pin in there. Let's see if I can get a decent angle on the camera down there for you. This is what we're looking at here. So there's actually 2 cotter pins. I just kind of pushed them down a little bit with a screwdriver. So there's 2 cotter pins holding this in. So I'm going to crawl in underneath, I think, probably to get to the other side to see if I can get those out. They're 2, I believe it's a 17 millimeter. So I'll try to get those off. That's where I'm going to go now, underneath. All right, got the cotter pin out. I just got to get these off. 17 millimeter here. I have to this one here. And I'll probably have to get my wobble for the other one here. Can't quite reach it in there, so sorry. It's horrible filming here. I need an assistant filmer. All right, there we go. even my wobbles. It's trying to stay together here. The pin keeps coming out. Tape's not holding it in anymore, but got it out. Okay. So I'll pop those out, probably hit it with a hammer maybe. Go from there. If you guys can really see in there, but I whacked this one with a block of wood. It took a couple whacks, but I got it. So now I'm gonna try to get the other one off with the wood. See if I can get it. Oh, that's as far over as I can get it. So okay, I finally got it. I had to hit it, I don't know how many times. It felt like 100. But I hit it with a piece of wood on the bottom. So here's the nut. I'm gonna put the nut back on the other end. That's just kind of the way I like doing it. I just try to put them back where they belong. So they're always, if I have a question later, I'll know where it goes. So that's disconnected. Steering moves freely. Hoping, okay, got that. So I need to do, I believe, the brake lines. And then these bolts, I think, in there. Didn't drop the beam. But before I do that, I need to jack the car back up. And because I have it, it's on the beam. So I need to move the jack stands, which sucks because when I go to paint underneath, I don't really have a good place to put them other than I might just stick them on, try to get them close to these two bolts here. And then I might have to just go back over those areas after I move the jack stands after I paint, but that's okay. So now I'm going to move jack stand right here, and then that way it's not on the beam. Disconnect the lines and hopefully drop it out. Oh, I gotta do the speedo cable too. Gotta get the brake line off here. So I'm gonna pull this clip, which isn't supposed to be that easy to pull, and then I'm gonna disconnect here and hopefully I can get this to spin. So, and I can disconnect this off the back. So, and I also need to take this end off too, because I don't think I'll be able to drop the beam out. So I'm gonna disconnect this end so this can pull out and do the brake lines on this side. So this is 17. I think it's a little sloppy, but and then that's what was this? An 11, I think. Yeah, an 11. So it's broke it loose. So now this will spin. So I might be able to. There. Now I can unscrew the line. Okay. So this is free now. Perfect. So I didn't actually have to take this whole thing off, and got no fluid in there. So next I'm going to take that. Now I'm going to get this off. Here. And that's a 17 millimeter. I got the cotter pin out already. There is a cotter pin in it. Okay. That came out easy. And I'm sure I'm going to need to whack that with a hammer, because I did on the other ones. I'm actually going to slide this back in. I need to order another one of those because it should be a lot tighter. Okay. Dropping stuff here. Grab my wood block. And let's see how easy this is. Just give it a good whack, maybe. There it went. Okay. So now pull this out. That's out of the way. Got the brake line off this side. So next, let's go to the other side. Get that brake line off. Okay, so now I'm under the car here at the front beam. There's 4 bolts here, 2 about this. These are 19 millimeters. Let's see if I can. No, that's not too bad. Okay. So I pulled the 2 bottom ones out. I loosened the top ones. It looks like it's moving. So I'm gonna put the floor jack under it here. And I thought I had to take out, I'm pretty sure I gotta take out these top ones on this side because that's gotta be holding it in too. So I think I'm gonna loosen the top ones and then put the floor jack underneath to help support it, and hopefully it doesn't just come crashing down, but we'll see. I might have to get my wife out here to give me a hand, but we'll see what's gonna happen next. These 2 are 17 millimeters, so I loosened this one already, but I got the jack underneath. Oh, I don't think it goes into there. So maybe I don't need to take these off. But you know what? I'm already here. I'm going to take them off. You do have to take these 2 out. They do connect to the beam. Well, probably good to take them off anyways because I got to paint. I'm going to paint all this, so even if I didn't have to take it off for the beam, at least it's off. Find that bolt here. Pick it back up. So, okay, so now that's off. So I'm going to go back down and loosen the 2 top ones while it's supported by the jack. I'm going to try to do... I don't know if I can get, there we go. Loosen this, but I'm probably not going to be able to get it back out. So I'm going to go grab a ratchet here. I have a ratcheting wrench. Get in there a little easier, maybe. Hopefully. There we go. Just get the hand in there. Okay. This one's pretty loose. Okay. Oh, that's a crappy angle to get that thing back in. Okay, last one here. Sway bar in the way. Hopefully, it's moving a lot. See if it comes crashing down on us. There we go. See if we can push it. Go. Whoa. Can't tell if that bolt's all the way out or not. front end is held down by the jack. All right, I'm gonna resituate here. Okay, I got Stacy out here to give me a hand. Let's give you a quick rundown. It's pretty loose right now. It's basically off the front horn there. So I kind of halfway supported it. So now I'm going to try to attempt to lower it down. We will see what happens here. So first I'm going to take the red jack down. Okay. And that wasn't really doing much. Okay. Let's lower the whole beam. Ready? Oh crap. Okay. So I don't know what is still holding it in. Shouldn't be anything. Okay, I just lowered the jack. There it goes. Okay. Ready? Okay. I'm gonna go down a little more. Okay. There it went. Perfect. You good? Thanks for helping. Huh? I don't think so. It didn't come down like I was hoping, but it came down. So, cool.
Sorry.
Right on.
I got the strap.
Got the beam out. So now I can clean all this area up.
That looks really good, Dad.
And it's out of the way. Cool. So front beam's out. Success. Got the beam out. And now I can, let's get the light there, clean the rest of this up. So that's all bare metal. So I wanted to clean all this up and the, I guess, firewall, you would call it. Because I'm going to do the Raptor liner in there as well while I do that. I probably won't get any in heat. I probably won't do any Raptor liner here. I'll just probably paint it black because I want the other beam to fit in perfectly fine. And cool. Pretty happy with that. A decent night. Get some crap done. Basically, this jack stand's holding the car up. This one's not doing anything, but I just stuck it there just in case. That one's barely grabbing, but I didn't know where to frickin' hold the car up while I'm painting. It kind of sucks. There's no good spot. But maybe I'll move a jack stand like right here on this pinch weld while I'm Raptor lining it just to hold it up temporarily instead of there.